YouTube, what's going on today? So, in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple stocks that I got my eyes on and what I see in the charts, right? So, before I go on talking about the first stock, I have to talk about Bitcoin first, because they do have correlation. So, I want to talk about Bitcoin just a little bit, and then I go into the stocks that I'm watching. So, Bitcoin, right? So I actually had my eyes on Bitcoin for like a minute, right? So do you see this, right? Buy limit. This is paper trade, by the way. So Bitcoin was somewhere around, right? Where was it? Let me see. Bitcoin was, where was it? I don't know. Cause I remember it pumped. I think it was like right here. Yeah, I think Bitcoin was somewhere right around here where I wanted to get in my paper trade, and I felt comfortable buying it right here. Paper trade, but I wanted to get in right here. Why? This 4 hour fair value gap. But what it also just did was it also created a 1 day fair value gap, which to me essentially means buyers. Where are buyers willing to come in and step in and defend? So it's right here where this is, and right here. So I will now adjust it a little bit more down to right here, so that when we come down to here, buy limit order, paper trading, but I believe so. And I drew out what I believe was gonna happen, but doesn't mean I'm right, but just what I see in the charts, right? Now, the fact that we're drawing back already, I don't like for my play. Honestly, this is just the honest thought. Unless we just come all the way down to here. My first thought was we come down. We were right here. I drew it right here. We were supposed to go up and then come back down and then have a continuation up to breaking our bull run, right? And why do I say that? It's because this right here, right? So I am still expecting my play to work out, but let's just see how it goes, right? I want it to happen right then and there and not have a pullback yet. But my play was come right where it was, right here. We go up to right here, fill this fair value gap, then we shoot down right here, which is a good fair value gap as well, another good one, which is also a 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. So I'm predicting what I believe is going to happen. I mean, this is how I trade. So based on this, it could pull back even a little bit further, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But based off what I'm predicting, we're gonna have a pullback on one of these fair value gaps. If not this one, I expect a bounce here because it's a very wide gap, but a bounce there should happen. But either we're gonna bounce at 63 or 66. I'm not sure which one they want to do, but one of them, we are gonna have a bounce. I'm just gonna base it off the RSI and go with that. So why do I talk about Bitcoin? Because I just entered into a. Actually, let me go over to here. So these are the stocks that we're talking about. I'm talking about Mara, Moderna, and AMD, and then I might go over a couple others. So why did I enter into a put at the close of market, right? So I actually entered in somewhere around here on this candle because I remember I was in profit a little bit and I didn't take profit because I was like, I'm looking for it to go down a little bit more. Then I left the chart, and then I didn't even know that it did this. All I knew is I came back at the end and we were back down to here. Um, why did I enter into that play? Well, there's two reasons. The first reason is this one. You can't see it now, but this is a 1 month fair value gap right here. See between these two right here? This is a 1 month fair value gap. So it came up, it filled it, and when it does that, it technically usually go down, which brings me back to Bitcoin real fast. This is what I'm hoping, that both of them hit it at the same time. You have Mara hitting it, filling this gap, and also Bitcoin fill its 70 gap as well on the 1 day. And then I'm expecting over between today, which is Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, for it to come up to here and fill this gap and continue down between now and Sunday. But just what I thought, doesn't mean it has to happen. They could do it Monday, Tuesday, they could do it whenever. But no, let's go back to my stock, which is why I'm still not fearful of even if it go against me. No, we talked about the 1 day fair value gap, 1 month fair value gap being filled, right? So, but also on the 4 hour time frame, the RSI is hot, right? So I feel very comfortable that even if we push up, I'm gonna add to my trade right here. Like once we fill this gap, I'll add in right here because now we're going to go up against the 1 day and also the 1 week on a burn up RSI. Yeah, I feel very comfortable in this trade. Very, very comfortable in this trade. So I just gotta wait and see what happens. And on top of that too, if you notice that we break out, no, we just getting rejected. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at all these top heavy rejection, right? So I feel very comfortable holding on to my puts, right? But I might not hold on very long. It's just based on certain thing. I might do a quick scalp on it, but ultimately I want to hold it down to here because as you can clearly see, we just been running up with no higher low. So essentially, what I'm looking for right now is, to me, this is what I see. Let's say there is a high, higher low, high, higher low, right? Which is lower than this high. So now, I didn't even count these. I'm looking at this, right? Now, at some point, we have to create a higher low, right? So a higher low could be a 50% retracement based off this high because we have to create a higher low right, at some point, right? Would be a 50% retracement level down to here. Now, I don't use the 50% retracement. It just gives me an idea of where I would like to target if this thing did pull back. And it just so happened to be this fair value gap on the 4 hour that I'm targeting, right? It could go even lower, but this is the strongest support I've seen where once we pass these two, this would be the next one, and then you have this gap and fair value gap. So it could go lower, not sure. Earnings coming up as well. So it just depends on how fast the stock moves. So this is why I have my target all the way down to here. Now, the next stock I got on my mind is Moderna. All right. Now, unfortunately, Moderna is not a profitable company. So, I don't feel it that risky. It is risky, but I feel comfortable, very comfortable. Believe it or not, even though this is one of the most riskier plays that I'm about to tell you guys, I actually feel more comfortable in this play than the other plays, even Mara, even though Mara looks good. And the reason is because the RSI, what the hell was my mouse at? Yeah, so the RSI is completely burnt up on the 4 hour, on the 1 day, on the 1 week, on the almost like the 1 month, you know. So I understand that it's not a profitable company and such. But Moderna is about to hit its only support that I see, which is this one right here. Hey, I didn't even see this one. That's funny. So he has two support. I did not see that one. But the first one, and then these are way down there. I didn't even see these ones, honestly. But these are support all the way down to bottom, right? Now, my favorite setups are always RSI burning up, and we're about to hit support. And RSI is burning up on literally all time frame, and then we're about to close this imbalance in the market at 51.70. Of course, I'm gonna buy not buying a call option here would be absolutely absurd. This is perfection. Like, I know there's a lot. It's funny thing too is because there's actually a lot of people inside calls right now. Currently, the stock market is falling, so they're saying to themselves, "Hey, the stock can't keep falling forever, so let me start buying calls." Which is understandable, makes sense. Our size burning up. We're gonna have a reversal at some point. But if you just use the RSI to just take trades, that's hella dangerous to me. Like that's not trading. That's gambling. Like it's not trading. That's me personally, right? So this makes sense to me that we're feeling an imbalance. It's a 1 week imbalance. The RSI is burning up. And if this fails, then there's another support down here, but I just don't see them going that much lower with a burnt up RSI. Um, just like there's an imbalance to the downside, there's an imbalance to the upside. So these also got to be filled. This one, this one, this one, such and such. So I'm buying a call option on Monday, on November 4th. That's still a little bit of time. So on Monday, as long as we're lower than this, I'm probably going to enter in maybe a little bit earlier because it doesn't always have to fill the imbalance completely. Sometimes you just get low enough to where it just bounce. But preferably I wanted to fill the gap. But I'm also okay with like something like right here, something like right there. I'm comfortable buying the call option, but it's gonna be out for a pretty long time actually. It's probably gonna be until December, cause that's the only contracts I saw that looks good, where there's a lot of not even a lot. There was a lot of interest, but it looks good enough for me to take it. The call option. It was in December 20th. It's the only one, and it was at the strike price of $55. So going in the money would be very easy, very very easy. So that's I like this play a lot, a lot. The next play is AMD, which oh man, so AMD. I had a couple plays off AMD, but it just doesn't want to go. So my first play was this one, right? A body call option somewhere up here. We came down. I didn't sell it. I ended up holding it overnight. Then in pre-market it came down. Then it popped back up and it was profitable. And I didn't make a lot on that trade. Um, I think I made like $1 because both of these trades, like this one I made like $1 because I didn't want to lose the trade for no reason. Because if the trade's not gonna go my way, then it's not strong trend, right? It's still a lot of sellers. This one was the perfect entry, and still didn't make any money on it because I didn't sell fast enough. They dropped it so fast. They dropped it so fast. But I end up making also break even on this trade. But it's just basically I'm not losing. I'm right, but it's not the time yet. So I feel comfortable to keep buying because I'm buying at the right zone. So this zone I bought was right here, right where you see the entrance at, right? So as you can clearly see, we popped up and such, opened up and all that, and it just dropped so fast that I couldn't make any good money on it because I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to hold my trades, but the target was hit. I'll give it that. Target was hit. Because the ratio is what 27. Target was hit. I should have sold, but well, it is what it is. But I end up selling because I saw noticed. Even though look at this bottom wicks that you see, that's because this zone that I had, this buy zone, is very powerful. My buy zones are very powerful. This is why it was holding the stock up. It's because the banks were buying the stocks, but they were just not strong enough. The sellers were extremely aggressive. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind losing these two, not losing, but breaking even on those two, because I know where the stock wants to go, and I had this on the chart drawing up for like a while now. I know that it wants to come down to here to test this fair value gap. It wants to come down to fill this 1 week fair value gap at least before at least even going up. There's one more down here, but I don't think they're gonna drop it that much, right? because the RSI as well was burning up on both of these trades I took, right? Except for this one, but it was still low enough for me to still trust it, right? The RSI is now a little bit relaxed on the 4 hours, so now they have the room to drop it. So I would say on Monday, Tuesday the latest, but I would definitely say on Monday. Let's see what the stock does on Monday, because if we pop up without coming down to this fair value gap, then there's no trade for me until we come down to here and fill this gap. Then I'll buy it. So those are the 3 plays that I'm watching, and all of them make sense to me, perfect sense to me. Let me look to see if there's any other plays. ES not doing much. We're stuck trading sideways right now, but ultimately I think this thing wants to go higher still. Honestly speaking, it does want to go higher, but just know that the top is coming very soon. The top is definitely coming very soon. I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. So right now we're trading sideways, but I still think we're going to be going higher than we are going to go lower. Another stock that I have my eyes on is actually this. I had my eyes on this for like a while actually. So I want to hold this trade for a very long time, right? I'm not sure if I want to hold it to earnings, so I might have to be careful about that one. Earnings, I like earnings, but damn, they really mess up your plays, man. They really mess up your plays. So my prediction for Microsoft was to this come up. Like I drew this right here, right? It was this week. It wasn't this week I drew it. This week, our prediction of coming down, going up, and then coming back down, right? As you can clearly see, it did just that, all right? It went up, but I still predicted it was going to come down. But I needed it to fill this gap first. I would have entered into a put if it filled the gap. But the COE just touched it and just got rejected because there's a gap right here. I fear about the gap right here, so that's why we touched it, and it just like, that's hot. They're like, ooh, that's hot, and they're like, oh, we can't stay here very long, and then they sold out. But they have a lot of strong resistance above though, so ultimately, I was actually watching Microsoft to go all the way down to here on the weekly time frame. This is my prediction. All right, that's my prediction. So I just gotta wait and see, but. Besides that, I'm just gonna watch and see what happens, you know. Maybe Bitcoin comes down and fill my gap and then takes off. But if it does that, it's gonna mess with my marble. But I do know that we're gonna come down at some point. But I just hopefully they do it between today and Sunday. That's what I hope. I know a lot of you guys are probably in call option because I checked the stats, and there's a lot of people in this right here. There's a lot of people in call options. I was like, ah, damn. It probably looked, it was like 3-1. A lot of people in call option, which is understandable. It's understandable. But for my last video, my last thing, let me show you guys one last thing on why I think SPY gonna be very it's gonna top out sooner or later, right? For one, this is why I felt comfortable. I put this up earlier. I did not see this, but you see this line you see going down, this indicator, very powerful. I like it a lot. And typically, when it comes up, like it was not a downtrend up here. Up here, most likely it was an uptrend that turned to a downtrend, blah, blah, blah. But what I've noticed with this indicator, because I had it on my chart for a very long time, is when it comes up for its first test, it usually rejects. Like when you see like this comes up, the first time it comes, not this. This was not a up. This right here was actually, as I said, was supposed to like uptrend, right? That switched now to a downtrend. But typically, when it comes up to the first test, it get rejected. Now let's go to ES. That's SPY. Well, we can still go up a lot more, but as eventually we're gonna come down. So, you see this? Well, if we touch to the edge, which is basically 600. So we got a long way to go. We could still go up a lot more. But we go up and touch anywhere up here, 620, 610, and we just go up straight, not sideways. If it goes up, trade sideways, drop down, that's a little different. But we just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. We're gonna hit the top soon. But it does have a little bit more room. But it just depends on how aggressive they become. If they just get aggressive like this, all the way up, yeah, it's gonna have a nice drop like it did here type situation. But guys, I'll see you guys in my next one.